Hello there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, of YouTube. Welcome to the very first part to the walkthrough to Divinity 2, the Dragonoid Saga, and specifically the Developer's Cut Edition. Today we're going to play through the tutorial. Let's name our Slayer walkthrough. That'll be easy to keep track of, right? Alright. Yeah, this doesn't really matter to me all that much.
I triggered something.
I triggered something.
I triggered something.
I triggered something.
Feel
We'll
my
go for the
wrath.
soldier. That's good.
Oh,
Alright. And we'll accept. And I'll just be quiet through the cutscenes, and otherwise I'll be talking over whatever's happening on screen. So let's start with our current character. Here we can see Farglow, the tutorial area.
Here we are, Farglow, the place where our disciples become true dragon slayers. And today, the honor is yours.
Alright. Now, this is a walkthrough, so therefore I'll be explaining what's happening on screen quite a bit. On one hand, because, well, I enjoy watching and listening to walkthroughs myself. And I noticed that what I personally enjoy a lot is when the player of the walkthrough, not a playthrough, mind you, or a play along, or whatever you want to call it, when the person who is playing the walkthrough can explain a lot of things so that the listener can learn while watching the walkthrough, right? So because of that, I want to keep the tempo fairly high and only listen to dialogue when there's something significant, or when it's a certain thing I can't really explain myself, or specifically if it's part of the main storyline, right? It's an action RPG, you've got a ton of side quests and side content, but the main story is generally what drives, what drives the character progression and the story progression further. So we are in Farglow, the tutorial area. Here we've got Edmund. He just welcomes us, nothing special. Thank you, Edmund. We will speak to him later on as well. You see these bunnies, they only give one experience, but because of a certain achievement, you want to kick them right now. And there are boxes here I want to check because they might have something useful. Just like that there's a rope here. And the book, that's worth 3 gold. Here's a chest. It says your lockpick level is not high enough. That means that you need a higher lockpicking level, which is something we'll get into in this episode as well, but I'll explain it later. Nothing in those chests. Here are a few more crates and baskets. This one's empty, empty, and empty. Okay. NPCs we don't have to talk to right now. Here's a chicken. There you go. By the way, if you double tap your right click or your E button, you will automatically loot everything that's inside. Which in the case of a chicken is very useful because you know that it's never going to drop anything other than a chicken leg, which is standard food. Very useful in the early game and absolutely useless in the later parts. As soon as we get, well, I won't spoil too much. Here's another hidden chest. It says this lock cannot be opened through lockpicking. Hey, that's different than the other chest that we saw over there. And that's because that chest requires a key. If it says you can't open it through lockpicking, you need a key. If it says your lockpicking level is not high enough, you need a key. Or you need higher level in lockpicking. Wow. Okay, this typically doesn't happen. No items at all in any barrel. Last chicken for today. There you go. Alright, now, We are a dragon slayer right now. It might even say, no, it doesn't. Okay, we're a dragon slayer. We are here in Farglow to get the blessing of the dragon slayer. Now, when we have a look at our stats, then you see, well, the fairly high, right? 37 vitality, 25 spirit. You can see it in our health as well, right? We've got 323 health, 239 mana. That's all going to be lower in a second because we are level 1. And when you're level 1, your stats are supposed to be level 1 as well. Same goes for our resistances and secondary stats, which we will be, well, I will explain to you on a at a later point. But for now, look at it, take a harsh look because you're going to lose it, and it's going to take quite a while before our stats are going to be this high again. All right, this is Morgana.
To combine that brew with last night's herbal distillation might cause an implosion. Try it anyway. You can be so irresponsible sometimes.
Well, to whom might she be talking to,
That's
you
easy
might
for you to
wonder.
say. You can't die a second time.
You can't die a second time. So is she like a psychic or a ghost speaker?
Good to see you, disciple. I am Morgana, the Archmage of Farglow.
She's an archmage, and pay specific attention to her eyes. They've got this blue, whitish light. Let's say you're hard to miss, Lady Morgana, the way everybody refers to you.
Well, everybody makes a bit of a fuss when a soon-to-be slayer arrives. We all have our fields of study and a good life to lead, but the village can get a tad dull now and again. But let's turn to the reason you are here. The ritual that will make you a true dragon slayer. You have a smart mouth on you. This is a serious ritual.
The secret to hypnotic juggling. No, it's not that.
To be a slayer is to hate the dragon, but also to understand it.
Okay, hate the dragon.
No other order in Revellon takes the old military adage, know your enemy, quite so seriously as the Academy does.
Yeah, and the academy she refers to here is, of course, the Dragon Slayer Academy. And Rivellon is the, well, the land, so to speak, in which Divinity 2 takes place. And Farglow, which is the village we're in right now, is a village in Rivellon.
To attain this goal, I will infuse you with the memories of dragons. It will make you understand their language, motives, powers, and weaknesses. It will also color your eyes silver, the noted characteristic of the Slayer, which will enable you to see the spirits of the dead.
Ooh.
The ritual has a side effect, but nothing can be done about that.
I am ready.
Then prepare to become a dragon slayer.
And there you go.
And that's that. You might experience some dizziness for a while, some disorientation perhaps. The journey starts again, my friend. Your path is an empty page ready to be filled with tales of wonder, of adventure. But before you trot out of here in search of dragons and distinction, make sure you meet the veterans here. Alberic, Aravir, and Gawain know more about their trade than anyone you are likely to meet. And don't forget Isabel. The gift she will share with you, aside from the dragon memories, is the most prominent one you'll receive in Farglow.
Okay. So we've got two people to talk to. Isabel, who is going to give us a skill that you're going to need for the rest of the game, which is, in my opinion, one of the most unique and, well, just straight up coolest skills you'll gain in this game. And we have to talk to one of the three veterans as well, and I'll explain exactly what the difference is between the three veterans when we get to it.
The last ingredient
And we
is
see Toro here, who is a ghost, because as Morgana explained, you will have the ability to see and speak to the deceased rather. That's quite a difference. Which means that you can talk to undead, and you can see and talk to, and therefore fight ghosts, which is relevant for the main story. Now, Isabel will be on the bridge here, and before we talk to her, I'm going to save because we haven't saved yet. Don't mind these other characters. Okay, Isabel.
You have met Morgana. That means we can proceed. Do me a favor and think of something, anything, but don't speak aloud.
I'm going to see if I can maybe lower the background music because I can hardly hear the words the NPCs are saying right now. That being said, they are talking very calmly as well, so that might make a difference there. But let's see. So, do me a favor and think of something, anything, but don't speak aloud. So I'm going to think of what it must be like to face a dragon, because we're a dragon slayer.
It's not uncommon to have feelings of anticipation and eagerness, or even fear, when one has yet to face a betrayal.
To face a betrayer. I'll explain that in a second as well.
Surprised? Surely you have heard of the gift of mind reading that dragon slayers possess. Maybe you have also wondered how they come by such an amazing ability. The answer is easy. I bequeath it to them.
Okay.
Of course. It is one of the reasons you are here.
So Isabel is going to give us the power, or rather the skill, of mind reading.
Now stand still and look into my eyes. The secrets of all shall be revealed to you.
And you can see right below the name of the NPC you're talking to, you get the ability to mind read. It says, mind read costs, in this specific case, 1 EXP. Are you sure you wish to do this? Now, I'm going to do mind reading with a different NPC here to show you how it works. And not Isabel, because in this case, you're not going to gain anything, because Isabel is the bequeather of the mind reading skill, so therefore she's way too powerful of a person to have her mind read by someone else. The same would go for Morgana. However, the standard village folk here, they have minds that can be read by you, so it's easy to do that, and they might even show you a little something you wouldn't know otherwise, which we'll see in a second. I must go, I'll see you later. You have gained 1 rank in mind read, and then it's the passive skill. So, our stats have dropped down to 1. Our experience is 12. And it says the amount of experience you need to gain a level. Whenever you level up, you gain 4 attribute points. And that means you can raise one of these with 1 of your 4 attribute points. Or you can, or well, rather, they are called stat points, I believe. Besides gaining stat points or attribute points when you level up, you also gain skill points, and you can see now that we've gained level 1 mind reading. You need to pay 0% less XP when reading someone's mind, and if you raise the skill, you will gain the reduced experience cost of reading someone's mind. But does this mean, we'll go over the rest of the skills in a second, by the way. Does this mean that you can gain negative experience? Well, it works like this, because we are going to mind read Edmund. Edmund! Mind read for 1 experience.
Sonia is so curious to see what's in that chest of mine. Little does she know, I hid the key near her little goblin campsite in the arena.
Thank you, Edmund. Yeah, have a nice day. So, Edmund here just told us about a key, and we've seen that there's a chest all the way there which needed a key. And the goblin campsite he's talking about is behind that barrier. Now, I'm going to talk to Gawain here, who is one of our 3 veterans. The other 2 are here is your archer veteran, who is called Aravir, and your magician veteran, who is called Alberic. When you choose one of the 3, you can still talk to a different one and become a sort of magician or a sort of archer or a sort of warrior. Gawain is your warrior guy. You can mind read him.
Only the divine could read my thoughts, Slayer. And he didn't even have the dragon skin.
Yeah, so he's again too strong to mind read. I think it's very interesting that they put this here, because this happens very rarely. There's 2 NPCs that I can think of who can't have their mind read after you leave the tutorial.
You'll regain. My life has always been that of
Yeah,
the blade. It is an art I will excellent.
Gain the melee skills. Ta-ta! And then you completed your first quest. And we'll take 100 gold here, because 25 experience is literally killing 1 enemy, and 100 gold is still 100 gold. And just to put things into perspective, yeah, 25 experience is nothing. Once you get to the past the Sentinel Islands, so that's like about level 20, enemies will give you literally like 700 experience per pop. So, and 100 gold is still 100 gold. And what I mean with that is that you can still buy a meaningful healing potion, for example, for 100 gold, even when you are level 20. However, for the majority of quests, I will pick experience as the secondary option. I really like that option as a quest thing, by the way, in this game, but I'll explain more about that later as well. Now, we've just chosen Gawain, and this means that you have your strength increased to level 4, and you gain the whirlwind skill. If you choose the archer, you have your dexterity increased to level 4, and if you choose the magician, you have your intelligence raised to level 4. The archer will teach you level 1 poison arrows, and the magician will teach you level 1 fireball. Now, the reason I mentioned earlier he will make you a sort of warrior, or a sort of archer, or a sort of magician, or mage, is because you don't have classes in this game. If I gain a level, I gain a skill point, and if I want to put that skill point into summon Ghost or into Fireball, I can, whilst still having Whirlwind. The way damage is calculated, I'll explain further when I have a weapon that lends me to explain it further. But strength is a stat I can put attribute points into. But even though I've just increased my strength by choosing Gawain, when I level up, I can just raise my intelligence by 4, and then my intelligence will be 5 at level 2, whilst my strength is level 4 still. Right? It's not like I'm locked out of benefiting from intelligence. For now, the reason I choose Gawain is because I am actually going to use the Whirlwind skill for the rest of the playthrough, because I plan on playing as a warrior. I am not going to use the Poison Arrow skill, and the Fireball skill is only good if you keep leveling it up as you increase your level. Because right now you can just put a point in it if you have a skill point. However, in order to increase Whirlwind to level 2, or Fireball from level 1 to level 2, you would have to be level 4. So once you get that threshold, you have to put an additional point into the Fireball skill in order for it to be relevant. because that is the main reason to increase the damage. And well, your enemies around you will have increased health when you get further into the game, therefore increase your level. So therefore it's necessary to increase those skills. This is most relevant for magician skills. When you look at the mage tree here, right, you've got priest skills, mage skills, warrior skills, ranger skills, and generic dragon slayer skills. Mage skills all require what I just mentioned. All the damage skills have to be leveled, otherwise they're fairly useless. Warrior skills rarely have this. They all have multipliers. Here it says 1 times your normal damage. Here it says 1 times your normal damage. If you increase it, it becomes 1.2 times your normal damage. Which means that if you just increase the damage of your weapon, you also increase the damage of, in this case, the skill is called 1000 Strikes, right? And that doesn't apply to Fireball. Because of this, I tend to want to play a warrior in this game. I've played as a ranger, I've played as a warrior, I've played as a mage. I enjoyed all three, but I enjoy warrior the most. Well, ranger is a lot of fun as well. Because warrior allows you to go into other skills more easily, because it's less of a necessity to increase your mage skills. I can leave Whirlwind at level 1 all the way until level 20 and still want to use Whirlwind. And I can't do that with Fireball. And since I want to play as a warrior in this playthrough, yeah, Whirlwind is the one I'm going to go for. But if you want to play as an archer, or if you want to play as a mage, then, pick Alberic or whatever the archer guy's name was again. One thing I want to explain or say about the playthrough as well, or the walkthrough, is that I'm going to play on, I think it should be, oh no, it's on normal, okay. I'm going to play on hard difficulty. I'm going to increase this to 30%. The reason I'm playing on hard difficulty is because it's a walkthrough, so therefore I don't want things to be easy, and I want things for you, or I want you to be able to play along with me. I'm going to slay a few goblins, by the way. Don't mind me. Yeah. Okay, great. I want you to be able to play along with me. And if I'm playing on Nightmare, the game is very tedious. I do not like playing on Nightmare, because you can see right now I'm trading hits. I'm trading blows with this goblin. The difference between normal or casual or hard and Nightmare is the increase of damage the enemy inflicts to you and the amount of damage the enemy has to take in order to die, right? So the health of the enemy and the amount of damage of the enemy, that's what changes when you go up in difficulty. I'm going to use Whirlwind here to get a double hit. There you go. But yeah, you can see right here, I can just trade blows with these goblins and still win, because these are trading goblins. I can roll to gain distance, get away from them, and then by getting away from them, I could eat, for example, a bit of food to regain my health, right? You can see I'm eating right now, so my health is being restored. And then I'll trade again and kill the goblin. That is how combat works in this game. You've got a I just picked up admin's key, by the way. You've got a mixture between skillful play, meaning you can roll and dodge, for example, fireballs. You saw I dodged the fireballs of the magicians, but there's also skills that you can't dodge. I'm going to pick up a secret here, a skill book, very useful. Because if you're in melee, you just saw, if I want to do damage to the melee goblin, while the melee goblin wants to do damage to me, then we have to trade blows, because I can't hit him while he doesn't hit me, because I'm playing in melee. If I'm an archer, I could kite him all the way to, well, wherever, because there's a lot of room here, so I would never have to get hit. That's why an archer would be the preferred playstyle if you play on Nightmare. So there's a mixture between skillful play, like dodging fireballs, and skills and attacks that you can't dodge. You can dodge regular arrow auto attacks or basic attacks or whatever you want to call it, but you can't dodge, for example, the poison arrow skill. And around level 8, you'll encounter bandits who will have a poison arrow skill, and it will stun you for half a second, which means you can't roll. Which means if there's 2 bandits, then they're going to shoot arrows at you at the same time. Just as an example. Which means that if you don't have enough health, you'll have to roll away and eat food or drink a potion to regain your health and then attack again. And combat just takes twice as long because of those aspects of combat. Now, I really enjoy combat in this game because I think it's really fun to have that mixture of, on one hand, you have to be strong and you have to pay attention to how you build and progress your character, while on the other hand, you have to be skillful in your play. If you don't roll at the correct time, or you try to roll things that you kind of know that you can't dodge, then, well, there's no point in doing that, and you lose DPS because you could have just attacked in those moments, right? It's a bit of a mixture in skillful play. So here's Edmund's chest. Let's see. 9 gold. That's horrendous. I would typically get a potion here that's worth more than 9 gold, which I could sell, and that'll be more of a profit than this. We've, by the way, got our Tiresias here. You can change your gender and your appearance if you want to. We are not going to. Even your name, by the way. And by just doing this and accepting this, you would get an achievement. Obviously, I've already got those achievements, so I'm not going to get it. And there's one trader here, Gerald.
I hear the sound of a newly stocked coin.
Yeah. It says, Gerald neither particularly likes nor dislikes you, and his prices are as lukewarm as his disposition. You can still sell a skill book for 100, but that's never worth it. Stats books and skill books are always worth keeping. We're going to sell these books because they're not worth anything. All books that are in miscellaneous you can sell. The rope I'm going to keep because you need 1 rope for a specific interaction with a side quest. You can buy things here. He even has a better sword than I've got right now, but this is not worth paying 300 gold for. You can buy armor here, and you can buy potions. Now, potions are useful at all times. I am actually going to buy these, because in the early game I don't have much I want to spend my gold on, and because of how the experience curve works in this game, you want to kill as many enemies in an area as possible before you start completing quests, and I'll explain that in a second. But what's more important here is that because he's a trader, I can mind read him.
My prices may be steep, but who can blame me? It's not like I'm vending on Rivertown Market.
Hey, and now I've got an additional option. I must say I remember better prices for these types of wares on Rivertown Market.
Don't I know it, Slayer? Don't I know it? But what can I do?
And now he just lowered his prices. Gerald worships the ground you walk on, so why not take advantage of it? Now, these potions were 91 gold at first, and now they're 68. So they've been lowered by about 25%. That's very useful. You're not going to get this easy of a discount because the mind read cost is here only 3 experience. With the other potion vendors in the town we're going to in a second. So I'm going to buy a few potions here. However, I'd be a fool to buy them right now, because I can still get a mind read to even lower his prices further. By the way, it says you're in debt 3 experience. So you don't lose 3 experience when mind reading. You just have to score 3 or gain 3 experience to get out of the mind read debt and then you'll be able to gain experience again. That's how the mind read cost works.
Welcome to Farglow.
Barbara,
Oh, poor Gerald.
he's a voracious
He's such a
reader.
precocious
Read every
boy
book in
like her
town.
Mr.
Okay,
Price.
thanks, Barbara. Good to know. Let's talk to Gerald again. It is, by the way, quicker, faster to roll to your place, but that, well, it's annoying.
Come to buy more goods? Really? Why?
Another option. Hey, he just lowered his prices. And now they're at 45 gold a piece. I'll just buy as much as I can. Thank you, Gerald.
Some other time.
Because it's only 500 gold. Get rid of this chicken. Thank you.
I can't.
And that'll be it. Oh god. I might press that key for Whirlwind accidentally multiple times. I've just finished a playthrough on Gothic 2. I don't know if you know the game, but it requires you to sheath and unsheath your weapons using the 1 key, which is what Whirlwind is on. We're going to place these on our hotbar. Thank you. And we're going to use the skill book. And now we've just gained a skill point. It says skill points left is 1. Now we can put it in any skill we want. I'm going to put it into lockpicking because you want to increase your lockpicking anyway, right? Because that gives you more loot, more gold, certain specific items you can get through lockpicking and only through lockpicking. So it's worth it to increase this as soon as possible. And then specifically to level 3. And once you gain access to or past the first area to level 4. But at around that time you'll be level 7 and you'll have the option to get 2 or 3 additional skill books as well. So it's not going to be too much of a problem. So that's why I'm not increasing a different stat. I'm going to get lockpicking. And is it a coincidence or not, the only chest that can be opened through lockpicking requires level 1 lockpicking. And you get an additional potion. Well, the loot is randomized. Only unique loot, such as, for example, a named weapon.
You look more
Yeah. A named weapon or a named armor piece or a quest item or certain specific miscellaneous items, such as gems. Those can be static loot. So they're always in the same chest regardless of who opens it, at what time, at what level, etc. But the potion I just got is rolled on a table, so to speak. I could have gotten the same potion in the chest from Edmund, but I only got 9 gold there. And then the second chest I opened with the level 1 lockpicking, I got 2 potions and 20 gold. So that chest was objectively better, right?
Finally,
Yeah.
The
Okay.
destiny of the Dragon Slayers shall come to its conclusion at last.
I'll explain this in a
Quickly
second.
now, all aboard.
Let's first get through the cutscene. Those are wyverns or wyverns. This is an area, by the way, we will go to later on in the game. This is the final area and the biggest area in the game. And this is where we go to now, the next village.
Right. Time to start the hunt.
Right.
Marius, you will lead the preliminary search of the valley, but warn me before engaging the dragon. I will notify the local officials of our arrival. Once you have any information, come and find me and we'll head out. Understood?
Yes, Mom.
Good. This will be a day to remember, Slayers. Now, hop to it. Not so fast, my eager newborn. Your mental state is still highly volatile. Don't worry, I have an assignment for you as well.
Okay.
Enter the town and ask the villagers about
Yeah. Okay. Guys, I'm going to finish up this first part here, this first episode. We've completed the entire tutorial with all the secrets that are there to discover. We've gone through the chests that were there. We gained the skill point in the skill book to increase our lockpicking, and we got to the first premise of the story. But the story really starts here, and I'll explain the rest of it in the second episode. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, and cheers.